For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. To me, being an entrepreneur was more appealing than being a Hollywood superstar. Those standing at the forefront of change aren't just playing the game, they're redefining it. Many became entrepreneurs with a lemonade stand, but my journey started with something different. It all started right here at Dana Middle School. I was this 12-year-old kid, new to America from Taiwan, and everything was so different and exciting.
Back in Taiwan, we always brought our own lunch to school, and we didn't have a cafeteria like this one right here. But here in America, everybody would line up to buy their lunch, especially for these things called corn nuts. You see, kids would literally line up from here to here just to buy a bag of them. So the business was simple. I just went to Costco and bought a bunch of them and sold them the quad right here with no line at all. At this point, these were not just snacks to me. They were gold dust. I was making $250 per semester, and at that point in middle school, that was life-changing money to me.
After the corn nuts, I threw myself into every business you could think of. From drop shipping to a YouTube animation channel, some venture flopped, but others like sneaker reselling worked out pretty damn well. In college, I realized that I wanted to start something bigger. I saw the way that Steve Jobs had changed the way that we interact with technology.
Calling it iPhone.
And how Mark Zuckerberg transformed how we connect with others.
Well, and now we're at 100,000 people, so who knows where we're going next.
Seeing the impact these entrepreneurs were making, I knew that this was the industry I wanted to be in. So after that, I decided I'm going to start a software company.
So the first thing I did was I started drawing out these different mock-ups. So these were actually the one I hand-drawn 2019, sophomore year of college. So I'm 24 now, so I drew these up when I was 18 or 19, so it's been a while. Looking back now, these really weren't the prettiest, but hey, I was proud of them at the time and it got the job done. But I just have this quick little dashboard page over here, basically just shows the organization, where they're at, and showing you like different data as well. I also realized that I haven't explained the business yet, so I'll explain that in a second. I'll just show you guys the mock-up first. The rest of them all look relatively the same, so I'm not gonna bore you with them. And I actually also shot my first, I guess, quote-unquote, promo video for the business here as well. Let me ask you a quick question. Does your college organization still currently collect membership fees through a personal Venmo account? Well, let me introduce you to Dashville. Looking back now, it really wasn't the best. I really didn't know what I was doing with the mock-up and the promo video, but I think that's what entrepreneurship is about, right? Sometimes you just have to do it and see what happens after that. It's one of those things you can't really learn in the classroom or by someone telling you what to do. It's just kind of by doing it and learning it and getting better from it. But before I forget, let me explain to you what my first software company did. The problem is that there's millions of organizations that collect membership fees in the United States. But it's a very tedious process, annoying process to collect that fees and organize the whole thing, right? So Dash will basically automatically collect the membership fees from the members, right? And it helps the organization organize everything so they don't have to do any work and they can go back to doing what they want to do. So millions of organizations subscribing to our service meant billions of dollars, right? Well, not exactly. It didn't really turn out the way that we hope it would. Dashville still provided a nice income for my co-founders and I, but it was evident that it wasn't going to be the next big thing because it was pretty damn hard to scale it up.
Feeling a deep sense of disappointment, I grappled with the realization that my startup hadn't turned into the groundbreaking success I had envisioned. However, after a few days of reflection, my perspective began to shift. At least Dashville is operational and revenue generating, allowing me to pursue my entrepreneurial passion full-time. It is not going to be the next big thing, but it is not too bad for my first software business. While I was self-reflecting, I recalled a popular book on startups, one that came highly recommended by numerous entrepreneurs I respected, called The Lean Startup. The Lean Startup asks people to start measuring their productivity differently, because startups often accidentally build something nobody wants.
The book was really great for me because it really made me realize that what I did wrong. The first thing was that I did not move fast enough. I was taking too long to build the product. I was kind of like a perfectionist on everything. And the second thing was I started to assume what the customer wanted and ended up building out a bunch of features that nobody actually used. Those two things really went hand to hand because I had a bunch of assumptions, so I created a bunch of features, and those things took forever to build out, which took the development time going to market way longer. So in the Lean Startup, we really emphasize on this build, measure, learn feedback loop. So basically you try to go to market with a decent product as quickly as possible so you can learn based on what your customers are saying so you can build out features that people will actually for sure use. If I had followed the approach, that's probably the best advice I can give my younger self when I first started building out softwares. That'll probably be the number one advice is to not make assumptions and build based on what your learnings from the customers are. The lean startup was a great first step, but it's actually a different concept that fully made me into, I guess, quote unquote, you can say, a serial entrepreneur.
The concept is called indie hacking. Indie hackers are people who rapidly launch projects to market, and if they do not stick, they move on to the next idea quickly. For example, the most famous indie hacker, Peter, also known as Levels.io, started a challenge of building 12 projects in 12 months. He currently has 4 projects running, and those numbers you're seeing right now, they are in monthly recurring revenue. Yes, you heard that right. Essentially, he is doing about $2 million a year. And there are many other indie hackers as well. Another favorite of mine is Mark Lowe. In his early journey, he struggled with raising money, depression, and many other challenges. However, in 2022, he decided to focus solely on shipping more products. He shipped 10 startups in 2022 and is currently doing $56,000 in monthly recurring revenue. All these indie hackers and a lean startup emphasize on one thing, and it is ship fast.
Truth is, entrepreneurship is a lot like my favorite sport, basketball. It's not about scoring every single time. It's about how many shots you can put up. It's like my first software company. I assumed that was going to be my last business I start. It's going to be the next big thing. But a lot of times that's not the case. So it's really about putting up different shots over and over again. So that's why the concept of serial entrepreneurship makes sense. It's about putting up multiple shots, starting multiple ventures until that one sticks. In basketball, you have Steph Curry, who's one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Not to use it, Curry, way downtown. Oh, what a shot from...
But in reality, he only makes about 43% of his three-pointers, but he is celebrated as the greatest shooter of all time. In business, it's actually a little bit better. You just realistically need 1 out of 10 to work. And once you have the one that works, you're good. So in the future, what I plan on doing is that I'm just gonna keep putting up shots, keep starting businesses, and continue the serial entrepreneurship path. I plan on starting a new project every single month until one of them catches on fire. I also have a video right here talking about when I first graduated and went full-time my startup, talking about my struggles, my journey. Definitely check that one out. And if you can, please hit that subscribe button for me. It's free and it'll mean a lot for a small channel like mine. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.